Good dawn, noon, or dusk to all my fellow adventurers, creators, duelists, and gamers. Welcome back to the channel. We've got another special video lined up for you guys today. We have some slightly unfortunate news, and we also have some great news. So, let's jump right into the video. First off, we're going to make ourselves tiny as always, and we'll be returning to the Chroma document today. So if you guys haven't watched the first Chroma the Trading Card Game video, I highly recommend that you guys go watch that video. That will explain what Chroma the Trading Card Game is, and you'll get a further and deeper understanding on how it's played and what it's like, understanding the rules and how it's made. Today we're in the document, we're returning to the document because I made some minor changes to one of the rules and just added a couple anecdotes. This is one of the first anecdotes I had added right here at the end of this paragraph for the technical effects for creatures and primordials. This just allows me in development to remember, for me to remember how to make their technical effects. So typically they'll revolve around targeting a non-clan or clan member, a non-element, element, and things of that nature in these parentheses as you see. And then these right here will be how they'll target those things. So you see that this is one that you don't control, one an opponent prime controls, or on the field. The second anecdote I added was to this dot right here about the 15 different skills. And the creatures and primordials having different amounts of them. So previously this had mentioned that only epic creatures have a special technical effect determined by their clan, and well, the lie detector test determined that was a lie. I had somehow forgot to just add primordials. The primordials also have the clan effect as well. So the new updated version says that primordials and epic creatures also have a special technical effect determined by their clan. Moving forward to the most important change that we made, and that's for rule number 8. So if you guys remember in the first video, rule number 8 was if a rune card is banished or destroyed while being played or activated, its effect does not occur. This time I updated it. I don't know why I forgot to add these other two mechanics in here, but I updated it so it matches all the game's mechanics. So if a rune card is countered, banished, destroyed, or returned while being played or activated, its effect does not occur. So that will clear up any confusion around rune cards being countered, banished, destroyed, or returned while being played or activated in a duel. Also, speaking of rules, I wanted to talk to you guys about one of our competitive game modes. So, in the current TCG scene, we know that competitively, a typical duel starts off with both or all players involved in the duel starting off with an empty field, and they start off with their hand drawn from their deck, and they draw a card, and each player goes around on their separate respective turns building up their board. In Chroma, we have a competitive game mode where instead of starting the duel with an empty board, you start the duel, or all players involved in the duel would start the duel with their board built up. And to give you guys further idea of this, I can give you an example. So, imagine instead of starting the regular ways that we do, you start out with all your primordials, your Genesis, your Phenom, and your Supreme primordials on the field. Now, every player involved in the duel will automatically do this. You'll grab them off the deck, put them on the field, shuffle your deck, and then you'll draw your hand. So, for the next 5 turns of that duel, no one will be allowed to attack, banish, counter, destroy, or return cards, or their opponent's cards, or attack their opponent. And this is meant to be a truce phase. So during these 5 turns, everybody gets the chance to build up their field as much as they can. So that way, at the end of those at the end of those 5 turns, everyone would have their 3 primordials. They'd have any of the runes that they played and set up, and they'd have all the creatures out on the field. So that on that 6th turn, it's gonna, it's gonna be like Royal Rumble, which I think will be intensely fun and also interesting and competitive. In my personal opinion, I believe that's more competitive. So I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think as duelists is more competitive? Do you think it is more competitive to start to duel opponents who have a full board and all their things set out while you have the same, or the traditional way on how we do it right now? I believe that while the traditional way is, I think it's just seen as normal, because I really don't understand what's competitive about it, because the randomness of and I guess it's also because of how the current games that we play are made. But I believe that the randomness of a competitive match shouldn't be competitive, if that makes sense to you. Like, I don't understand why, hey, I've got a good deck, you got a good deck, but we'll shuffle our cards and we'll play, and you get lucky and draw all your stuff, I break. Like, that's not a good duel between 2 good duelists. I believe in order to get the best duel out of 2 duelists, or any duelist, is to see how this opponent is set up and see how this opponent is set up and watch them go head to head. Who truly is better? But that's my opinion. Please comment down below in the video on the comments what you guys think about that. Is it more competitive to go against opponents that have a full board, or how we have it right now regularly without a full board? So moving on, I added destroy to the glossary, and that's just in case for any new players who will be joining Chroma, the trading card game. If they don't know what destroy means in general, if they're new to trading card games, you know that in Chroma, the trading card game, to destroy is to send a card to the cemetery zone, which is also different from discard. Alright, and so we're going to go to the clan names. In the first Chroma the Trading Card Game video, I had showed you guys the first acid set deck, which were the acidics, the first generation set deck that was coming out. And so today I'm going to show you guys the rest of the names of the 11 other first generation set decks and starter decks, and I'll show you the 2nd generation and 3rd generation on the names right here. So, of course, you guys are familiar with the acidics. After the acidics, we'll have the Bloodborns. For Aqua, for Fire, we'll have the Lava Lords. For Force, we will have the Forceborn. For Geode, we will have the Geo Masters. For Lightning, we will have the Boat Masters. For Necrotic, we will have the Death Lords. For Nuclear, we will have the Hadron Lords. For Poison, we will have the Famine Lords. For Psychic, we will have the Spirit Masters. For Radiant, we will have the Night Suns. And for Wind, we will have the Sonics. And those are all first generation decks. So for your 2nd generation, you'll see the Decay Lords for 2nd generation, Ocean Masters for 2nd generation, the Ashborn for 2nd generation, let's see, Chrono Lords for 2nd generation, Sandborn for 2nd generation, the Storm Lords for 2nd generation. We have the Vampire Lords for 2nd generation, the Baryon-born for 2nd generation, the Virulent for 2nd generation, the Phantom Lords for 2nd generation, the Celestials for 2nd generation, and the Thunder Lords for 2nd generation, leaving the last remaining names for the 3rd generation. Alright, and as you guys see, though each of those generations that I named will come out with these booster packs. So they'll come out with the 1 to 7 different booster pack waves. And speaking of booster packs, I'm going to be showing you guys the acidic booster pack. And I know in the last video that when I was showing the cards, some of them came up a little blurry, and it's probably because I was moving a little too fast through the cards. So I'm going to give the cards about 2 to 3 seconds on each card so the computer can try to properly show you guys what it looks like, and you know, make the image resolute. And at that time you guys can pause the video and read the effects if you'd like. During this time I'll explain the news that's going on as well. So about 2 days ago, Kickstarter had messaged me and told me that they denied the Kickstarter project that we put up. They also gave me a reason as to why. They told me that it is against their policies on Kickstarter to have projects that are funding general business expenses. And while I understand the confusion on why they would think that's what we were doing, it wasn't. I made it very clear that the expenses were for Chroma, the trading card game, and Adventure and Quest, but that's not ever a problem at all. So, and like I said, I can understand because I named the project Phoenix Forest RPG LLC. In the video I probably kept mentioning, like, you know, support the business, and that probably just made them think like, oh, he's trying to, you know, just get general business expenses. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to get you know, Chroma the trading card game out and Adventure and Quest out. And so what we're gonna do because of that is make the Kickstarter projects into 2 separate projects. The unfortunate news about that is that because of that, the goals will have to be moved a little bit higher, because now I'm having to cover for twice the shipping fees, twice the taxes, twice the processing fee and Kickstarter fee. And so even though that's happening, I'm still going to be straightforward with you guys and let you guys know exactly how much we need as a company for Chroma to get off the ground, and Adventure and Quest as well. Adventure and Quest will have its separate video on discussing that, because I want to go over a couple more things on Adventure Quest as well. So for Chroma, at least, I can let you guys know that after doing the calculations, we need $62,340, and this will be able to fund the first, second, and third generation of the set decks and starter decks, as well as the first, second, and third booster pack wave. And so if you guys remember in the last video, basically because everything was packed together, it wasn't, I didn't want to have like $100,000, you know, dollar Kickstarter on my first Kickstarter. It seemed kind of ridiculous to me personally. So I wanted to make it smaller. So the funding was only supposed to be for the first generation set decks and starter decks and first booster pack wave. And so because this is a separate project for Chroma the trading card game, we're going to be doing the entire 3 generations and first 3 booster pack waves as well. So if you guys will watch this video and see in the description below, you'll see the link to that Kickstarter and you can preview it. It will be going live on the 15th still, and at that time we'll be making more videos showing you guys the first generation deck. So I'm going to make 11 more videos showing the other 11 first generation decks, and I'll make videos for their booster packs as well. If you get any of those videos to 100 likes, then that'll let me know that you guys want to see the second generation decks and third generation decks and things like that. But yes, of course. And that was the acidic booster pack, the first generation acidic booster pack. If you guys don't know, it is super hot up here in Ohio. And yeah, I live in Ohio. I've mentioned that before. We exist. But yes, once the Kickstarter goes live, please support the Kickstarter, support the project, support the channel by liking this video, subscribe to the channel so you guys can stay up on Phoenix Forge RPGs news. If you want to stay up on Chroma, the trading card games news, then subscribe to the channel, as well as Adventure and Quest, our tabletop role-playing game. If you guys want to stay up on that news, subscribe to the channel. I'll be releasing another video as well for Adventure and Quest, for the updates on Adventure and Quest and its Kickstarter project. Joe, love and peace.